coming thick and fast. One of the challenges we have with AI is understanding how AI works. This is a real misconception in my experience. And this is somebody who's 58, showing his age, but actually is very open to new ideas. And throughout my life, I've always been able to adapt from being, CEO of a logistics company, to a trainer, to EPA, to doing exams, to writing my own off-qual program, to doing AI and creating the programs within that. So again, you have to adapt. So everybody can adapt. If I can do it, everybody can do it. But AI is being treated a little bit as a shortcut. What I mean by that is that train logistics is experiencing rapid growth. We know that. So there's a huge growth in there. And many organizations are deploying, as we know, with AI. One of the fundamental problems with AI, it's when it's written or where it's created, it depends who's created it. So, and I'll give you a good example there. When I had no idea how AI worked, I was very fortunate to work with a good friend of mine who is, I would say, a specialist. And in 2019, 2020, when I joined as a UK advisor for ClearNow AI in California, I started to really open my eyes of how AI works and how they looked at AI. They didn't look at it, which a lot of customs people do, by the way, how it does everything for you. What ClearNow was very, and this is always stuck in my mind, they wanted AI to help, to support what they were doing, not because it was easy to support, because it speeded up the process. But actually, all the compliance and all the regulations and all the checks and all everything else was still being done. But AI helped that fundamental part of it. And I always remembered that. So when I listen to people when they talk about AI does this, do that, I do question sometimes where they're getting this information from. And come on, let's be honest. Anybody who's selling you AI at the moment, be realistic. They sell you AI. They don't even understand how it works themselves. They've come up with an idea and somebody's built it in the background, but actually, how do you put everything together? And I'll explain that as we go along. So a lot of companies are deploying this situation, rapid AI adoption, as we see, misplaced expectations, because you're expecting AI to understand the complexity of trade. How does it understand if you don't tell it? How does it suddenly know that that is that? How does it know that there's a regulation here and your document does this? Unless it's checking, unless you're teaching it, how does it know that? I spent 3-4 years teaching my AI, and it saves me hours and hours a week on a lot of things. It doesn't give me the full answer, but it gives me the basis of what I need. So again, there's flawed foundations within AI, because in my experience working again in Lithuania and getting very heavily involved in AI there with a program, I started to understand how AI started to work. AI works on a lot of it is probability. So it must give you an answer. And have you ever done that where you've been on ChatGPT, Claude, all the ones, God, I've used them all. And you ask it a question and it gives you an answer. You're not quite sure the answer it's give you. You ask it again and it gives you an answer. And it doesn't say, actually, no, Richard, I cannot answer this question. So it gives you that probability. And that leaves you kind of, as we said, down the garden path, because you start to think that that's the answer. And you take that on face value because you assume that the AI has got all the knowledge. It doesn't. It works on you educating it, on telling it how you adapt. So I can ask it a question now in my AI, and somebody else can ask the same question. It won't give you the same answers. It'll give somebody a probability. Me, it'll get a more distinct input because I'm teaching it. And that's the key. So again, it's understanding that. And how many of these companies, do you go on these bots? You lose the will to live, don't you? You ask it a question and it just keeps repeating itself, repeating itself, repeating itself. Can I speak to us? And it asking you the same question. Did I help you? Can you give me a score 1 to 5? It's like, why? Go away. So that's the frustration with AI at the moment. AI amplifies bad decisions because it works on a lot of data. Our systems are only reliable as the information they're trained on. So if you're not training it, how does it know? It can't do a commodity code. It can give you an idea what it thinks it is, but it can't give it you. Again, can it give you correct country origin data? Well, it can guide you, but it can't tell you. So again, just be very careful if people are promising you that it does this and that and the other. I'm not, well, I know because I know how it works. And again, when we miscalculated landing costs become embedded patterns that AI will constantly reproduce because it doesn't understand the question, or it doesn't have the deep knowledge. No legal interpretation. It cannot access legal responsibility or liability. How can it do that? It can interpret it or trade agreements for third origin rules, but it can't tell you what judgments, require human judgments and contextual understanding. Again, compliance remains your burden. Regulators that hold the importer record responsible for compliance. Don't assume AI is going to do that for you. You've got to set up your own systems. Let AI support you. It's very important. Or let the people who have created the programs ask the questions. If somebody's telling you that they've created an AI customs model, I know if somebody asked me about obviously Clear Now, I could answer you very clearly what AI does. It supports the journey of a customs entry. It doesn't fill it, yeah, it fills out the clear boxes, but that's also being checked. So it's not all AI, it's human as well. And what I would say to you is check the person who's selling it to you. What knowledge do they have? Because if they don't have the knowledge, how can they teach you? I used to get that with these CRMs and everything. They say, yeah, it's got all this, and you go on it, and it's got all these different fields, and you haven't got a clue how to use it. And then you try and click into it, and it says, well, you can't use that. You've got to pay an extra £50 a month or whatever. And you get sold down the river, don't you, on a lot of these things and sign up to them. So it's very frustrating. So again, it's to be careful with AI. It's a great tool to use, but understand the capabilities and the responsibilities within that. Again, it's trying to help you. AI supports good trade decisions, doesn't create them. So again, most effective use of AI in trade is as a decision support tool, not a decision-making replacement. That's what you got to. When I built the AI tools, I built it as somebody who knows exactly what you want as an exporter or an importer. I built it on clear, distinct documentation, processes, procedures. And when we built the export builder, I knew all you want to know is I want to go onto a database. I want to say, this is my commodity code, and this is what I want to send. I don't know, which are my 5 key markets? I've done it. I've created it. I created it on 1 market, 3 markets, 5 markets. We're going to let people use the 1 market free of charge just to see how impressive it is. It works in 185 countries around the world. You put your commodity code in there, it'll do the searching. I've spent the last year embedding all that information in the system so it knows where to read, where to go, because I'm telling it what to do. It then gives me that information. I then have to then make it from obviously from coding. I then have to create that presentation. It gives you a lovely presentation in the market. And again, it's a use. So they do work. I can build an export builder. I can build your full journey and do your entry, do everything. And that's what's coming next. I can do logistics flows, because I understand how the market works, and because I understand AI writing and how AI works, I can make it work for me. But if I go and use it on somebody else's stuff, I'm as like you, I'm lost. I get the same problems, the same annoyance, the same frustrations that I paid for this, and it's not really doing what I expected it to do. There's not many apps that do what you want it to do. I've said there's a few, must say there's a few that have been absolutely blown away at how good they are. And then there's some that I've been very, very disappointed with. So yeah, it's again, thanks for listening. There is short videos because obviously I want you to be on and short and watch. Again, any inquiries, just let us know. Import, export, and lots, and watch out for our trade intelligence hub. It'll be working soon. We're just taking our time with it. There's no rush. We're using a lot of the trade intelligence anyway with the information we're giving you. So again, join us on number 3. We've got 10 of these modules. Have a look at them, watch them, enjoy them. Again, it's coming from experience. It's not coming from, I'm an education writer. I'm also an examiner, but I'm doing this off my pure knowledge of over 1,000 courses I've delivered here and around the world, and also working with companies non-stop weekly, helping them go through the processes and procedures. So thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you on there's going to be 10 of these going through all different things. So again, join us, enjoy, and give us some feedback to see what you think. Thanks very much, and thanks.